My name is Ronnie Strickland. You may know me as Cuz. Now, I've been with Mossy Oak since the beginning. And yes, it's a great job, if you can call it a job. The best part, other than getting to hunt all the time and call it work, is the people. From Toxie Hayes, the founder, to everyone at Mossy Oak, and hunters in general, man, they just get it. It being the real reason we do this. It's not the big antlers or long beards or getting your limit every time. It's way more than that. Turn around and look at the blind. Let's look at it. Walk back over and show them what the blind is. Pull it up. Can't even see it. You know, when we first got in the television business, it was easy to find people to kind of run the computers and do this and that, but lugging those cameras around back then was a different deal. They were so heavy and bulky and complicated if that's not what you're trained in. And Tack was working in the warehouse. And I just got to know him, and I said, I'll tell you what, I couldn't think of anybody that would take a challenge quicker than Tack. So I brought him over to the TV thing and gave him a crash course on running a camera, and he was as good at it as anybody ever seen.
It's sort of hard to remember when Tack hadn't been a part of Mossy Oak. You know, he started working with us way back when he was going to school at Mississippi State. He worked in the warehouse, and then after that, after he got out of school, he started working with Cuz and running a camera, and did that for many, many years.
You know, when I started in 1989, we were cutting and sewing clothes, and you know, and I worked with a handful of guys under the leadership of Carsey Young. And you know, I had an opportunity to, you know, turn this part-time job into a full-time job, and I just jumped at that chance. And that was about the time that Cuz had been being recruited hard and heavy by Toxie to move to West Point, and I just kind of ended up being the go-to guy for Ronnie when, you know, he was living in Natchez and doing all the PR work, and you know, he was conducting media hunts, and you know, every time he needed some clothes, you know, shipped out or whatever that case might have been at the time, you know, he would call me. And Cuz tells this story, and he said that one of the conditions that he gave Toxie on moving to West Point was, you know what, if Tack can come to work for me, you know, I'll move to West Point. Now, that's his version of the story, and I don't believe that it went down quite like that, but sure enough, he got to town, and I went to work for Ronnie, or Cuz, as we affectionately call him, in the PR business. And you know, and I didn't have a clue what PR stood for. It was just, you know, trying to, you know, help him and entertaining outdoor riders, and what pro staff we had, and spreading the gospel of Mossy Oak.
Tack's strong point was like me. Mine was people. It wasn't necessarily running that camera good. I may bring in something that's a little blue or something that's a little bit out of focus, but I could get people to talk, and boy, there's nobody better than Tack.
Toddy. Cut, man, ain't no turkeys, guy.
We're fortunate here that most of the folks work here have strong family values. That certainly applies to Tack. You know, one of my favorite images that I have of him and his three knuckleheads, as I call them, is a picture he has in his office. And he's walking down a road, and it's Tack, and then the oldest son and the middle son, and little Sam bringing up the background, trying to catch him. It is sort of silhouetted. It sort of speaks to the way Tack has led them into the outdoors all their life. And like all of us, we're privileged to be able to introduce the outdoors to our kids. You know, I've watched him do it each step of the way, and he lives his life for his family. Very admirable, loves those boys more than anything in the world, and will do anything he can to give them an opportunity for their life to be as good as it can be.
Which one you gonna shoot?
I'm holding on you. gonna shoot the one on the decoy, okay? Let the other one get away from it.
Inside the Obsession is brought to you by Ram Truck Brand, Precision Shooting Equipment, Lethal, and Mossy Oak.
One of the highlights, I guess the greatest highlight in reflecting over my time spent at this company has been with, you know, it all boils down to people. And I've been so fortunate to, you know, travel the globe and you know, represent this brand and be a part of so many quality outdoor experiences that other people have had, you know. Hunting to me is it's not shooting a critter, you know, and it's not keeping score that way. It's a camaraderie that people have with one another, and to see people go from being introduced to it being a part of their everyday life in the form of a lifestyle, to watch them go through those phases. I can't tell you how satisfying that is. My kids, I can't tell you what they mean to me, but you know, they're a part of the Hays Outdoors family too. And I've been with those guys when they've experienced, you know, their first successful outdoor outing as hunting. And been with them on their first duck, been with them on their first turkey, been with them on their first whitetail. And you know, I have 3 sons. Thomas Cole, he's 16, and Todd, my middle one, he's 12, and my baby boy is Sam. But hunting is such a neat experience for me with those guys, because you know, the quality time that we have together is tremendous. But it's a different type of quality time when I'm with those guys in the field, you know, and the enjoyment that I get above and beyond just being with them is watching their senses at work. You know, pay attention to a kid, you know, when you're out in the woods with them. You know, you're going to most likely see a different side of them, because their ears are a little more open. They're smelling things that you don't, you know, necessarily smell anymore, or they're seeing things that we take for granted. And that's what I enjoy so much about spending time with my kids in the woods. And I'm fortunate because I get spend a lot of quality time with them as it is, but you know, it's in more normal circumstances, whether it be church or school or at the ballpark or whatever the case may be. Life is actually kind of in the fast lane. So hunting allows us to kind of slow down a little bit and smell the roses, or at least that's my perspective. Now they probably would tell you something else, but that's what I get out of it.
That morning, we get ready, we go into the field, and we were there 3 minutes at the most, and this hen starts hitting it. She flies down, and then she struts around for a little while, and then a gobbler comes in, and then right after that, like 10 seconds, another one flies down. And they come in at the far corner, and they strut over here by the decoys and the hen, and they're strutting the whole time, just both of them going back and forth.
Here's another turkey. That's a gobbler.
during turkey hunting, you do a lot of stalking and moving. As in deer hunting, I really love deer hunting, but you sit there and you just wait and you wait. As you're turkey hunting, you go to the bird, you sit down for a little while, you wait for the bird to get right in range. You can see great things with a bird. You can hear a turkey, you can see turkeys. They're great colors, they have great colors, they're beautiful animals. I just like killing them because it's a great feeling when you pick up a bird and you just know, I could have chased this thing for miles and miles, sat down, watched it fight or watched it play, strut through the field, and now I've gone all through this and I have this wonderful reward. It was a great feeling and a great sight, and they start fighting the decoys, and one of them, it starts fighting the decoys and kicking it and hitting it with his wings and beating it down, and it stands up, and they do that for probably 5 minutes. We watched that for a little while and watched them play with the hens and play with the decoys, and it's the big one stands up on the decoys, sticks its head up. I mean, I had a perfect shot. Stick his head up. It's like an ask it. Please take me now.
We're going on the decoy. We're going on the decoy.
It was a great feeling and a great sight, and they start fighting the decoys, and one of them, it starts fighting the decoys and kicking it and hitting it with his wings and beating it down, and the big one stands up on the decoys, sticks his head up. I mean, I had a perfect shot. Stick his head up. It's like an ask it. Please take me now.
He just made a great shot, but he kept his composure. I think I was the one that was starting to have a meltdown over that.
It was great, and being there with my dad, and it's a great feeling. You can't think of it in words. It's just, you have to be there. It's one memory that you'll never forget. It's one of those, like I talked about earlier. You can't find that every day. It comes that once a year. That's that one memory that's going to stick out of every hunt that year, out of everything you do for the rest of your life. That's going to be that memory that sticks and stays with you. It was the ideal turkey hunt. It was great.
Go thing.
Yeah, it's way up in the background. They all this, I'm asking questions because they're saying left one, right one.
Say hello to my little friend, boy.
Oh, gosh.
I had an opportunity to hunt, and I think it was that very afternoon we went out just prospecting and raised a turkey, and I think Todd was the one that heard the turkey gobble, and these two longbeards ended up being down in a big old deep swamp, and we were just fortunate enough to be able to call them up.
Called at them, and they would call back, and then it'd be silent for a little while, and then we'd call at them, they'd call back. These birds, they come into the field, and we'd call at them, and they'll holler at us back, and they came to this point. It was like a barrier. They knew don't cross it. I have to give props to my dad. This was a very tough shot because we were stuck up in some brush and weird positions and we weren't always comfortable. And these birds, they cooperated with us. It was great, but they hit that barrier and they wouldn't go any farther.
Inside the Obsession is also brought to you by Remington Arms and Ammunition, Mossy Oak, Scott Archery, Schwacker Broadheads, and come here, dear.
Give me some. Oh, I think you put on his head. Hurry.
You got the bird, and that was a great feeling. I had a great week because I killed my own bird. I saw my dad kill a wonderful bird. It's a wonderful hunt. I saw like 27 birds go down that week. There were like 20-something birds went down. It was a great week.
It was a neat experience for me to be a part of his and for him to be along on mine, and I wouldn't take nothing for it. I wouldn't take nothing for it.
Incredible day.
Incredible.
You know what? I can't ever recall having a cooler day in the woods. You know why?
Why is that?
Well, did you forget about this morning? No. I mean, that was incredible. Your first Osceola. Remember what we talked about this morning, the difference?
Yes, sir. The darker wings,
Yep.
but they still have the bars.
Yep, that's exactly right. Well, I tell you, I've killed a few of these, but none any more special than this. You're a pretty good hunting buddy, you know.
Thank you.
and got some bionic ears. My goodness.
Have you ever got both on the same day?
Well, I've never shot a turkey the same day that my son shot a turkey. That makes it real cool.
This is the first time I've ever seen my daddy shoot. He don't hardly ever shoot when we're hunting at all. I'll be like, Daddy, there's 2 birds in the field. You don't take no. 2 deer in the field. No.
What's that mean? He's leaving them for y'all, ain't he?
You know what? One of these days, you'll understand what I mean. It just doesn't get any better than spending time with your kiddos in the field, especially when you have a day like today.
You know, hunting just brings out the best in people, you know, and, you know, the American outdoorsman, I mean, he's a consummate conservationist, you know, and everybody as they mature gets closer and closer to being a great conservationist because they just by default want to leave it better than they found it. And I just know in my heart of hearts that all of that is going to kind of transcend, if you will, into really, really good habits that my kids will have. And hunting just makes you good, better people, you know? So it's such a huge positive that I can't imagine being challenged with raising my kids without having hunting as an advantage.